Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Kol Lion La, Adonai Yahweh, Bashem, Shamalak Yahushai, Bashem Kakadash, double honor to the apostles and those green millstone, peace, citation, hope for life, Shalom. The title of this video is going to be Refrain from getting the fake V cards because there will be consequences if you get one. So, you're starting to have a lot more people getting these, fake V cards to show that they got the shots. And you want to, stay away from this, especially if you're Jake, and most importantly, especially if you're in this truth, because you see, like, when it's coming to, Esau, of course he'll get away with more murder than Jake. He could do his schemes. He could do, shit like this. But when it's coming to Jake, they go hard with consequences, man. And it's like, I'm going to bring out scriptures with this, obviously. And I don't know, you Akim Yakwah family will be edified. And remember in the scriptures, it tells you to be blameless, And, this is not moving with wisdom. This is actually doing something that's going to land you, in prison. And it's not really smart to move like this. I mean, at the end of the day, will the Lord get you a job? Yes, He absolutely will. He will help you find a job. He will help you work for another company, because the Lord is going to have it to where some people may not require V shots for the moment, while every other corporation out there is, and they will hire you, and it might be, let's say, the same type of work that you was working for in another company, but the other company that fired you wanted you to get the shots, and you was against, or the most I could have you to where you go work somewhere else, probably like an easier job or so that don't require for you to take the shots. It's possible, and we all know like what the shots leads up to, eventually. So, but the fact of the matter is that we still just gotta, trust in the Lord, and He will guide us, And this is not a smart, wise way of going about trying to keep your job or so, Let me go into this article. So it says, FBI warns about penalties for using fake C19 V cards. It says as more businesses, schools, and cities begin to require C19 V, reports are surfacing of fraudsters making, selling, and using fake V cards. This spring, the FBI warned about false V cards for sale that were circulating online. Slocky. Okay, so here it is. In July, the Department of Justice announced the arrest of naturopathic doctor in Northern California. The agency said the doctor gave patients false V cards and homeopathic remedies, claiming they would help the body fight off C19. The DOJ said that misrepresenting the official seal of a U.S. agency like the CDC logo on V cards could be a violation of federal law. Violators could face up to 5 years in prison or a $5,000 fine. You see, and that's just bread right there, just paying that fine, or just going to prison alone for 5 years. That's just wild. And you wouldn't really want that on your on your head for some shit that you could have avoided. Esau takes fake let's say cards, let's like fake IDs. They take that shit seriously, or fake driver's license, any uh fake certificate of some sort that would be represented in the medical field, or just to represent your identity alone. There's heavy consequences when you get caught up with those things. And you just want to abstain from those things as much as you can, and you want to like stay away from it, as far as possible, the best way you can. You don't want to be caught up with shit like this, man. This is not our kingdom. And like, once you do some shit breaking the law, man, it's gonna be harder for you to even get a job. I'm just saying, because anytime a Jake slip up, and it's like, even if you ain't doing a crazy crime, you just did one little small crime, and like this, and they're not looking past that shit, you know. And it says, with more than 600 colleges and universities now requiring proof of C-19 inoculations, and online industry has sprung up offering fake V cards. Easy access to fake documents has set off alarms at some schools, where officials worry that V students with forged credentials might cause an outbreak. This is a student interviewed by the Associated Press said they were aware of fake C-19 V cards, though none admitted to actually using one. On the dark web, sellers on websites such as Counterfeit Center, Jimmy Black Market, and Buy Express documents list C-19 V cards, certificates, and passports for sale, some costing €400, or about 473 in US dollars. Meanwhile, some states, businesses, and schools are creating their own verification services like apps, digital passports, or certificates, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Wow. And this is what it says in Philippians chapter 2, verse 15. Now you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yahweh, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. Exactly. And as a nation of people, yeah, we are children of the day. We are, the children of light. But it goes even deeper, as pretty much like segmented from the 1/3 to the 2/3. Well, from those that have this truth right now, because like I said, you might have a 2/3 in this truth that's will eventually fall out in due time. So those that have this truth right now, I guess, like we obtain that light, and Lord willing, we turn to the end, be part of the elect. So shining as that light in the world, because a lot of these people out here have this gross darkness on them, where they don't believe in this truth, and they're out there believing in whatever they want to, whatever false doctrine out there, whatever the Most High have them believe in, basically. And for you actually obtaining the light, you have to move smart. You have to move with wisdom. You can't do stuff that's gonna eventually put you in a slammer, that's gonna get you locked up in a cell block. So 5 years too. Like, man, we don't got time for fucking we don't got years, on our plate, because we already see this devil Esau is working his hands quick with his agendas. He's working it quick. Yeah. So the Most High have this devil working on the left hand side, just hella quick to be, a fucking what you call it? To be a dragon, So He's using his draconic measures to still push his MOTB, but at the same time, it's like he's kind of spoon feeding these people, you know, their little mirth, so that he could eventually have them to um, make them think that things are going back to normal if they accept his, NWO agenda, and eventually, we'll follow up with the MOTB. That's the whole NWO agenda, by the way. So, which I feel like you guys are well aware of. And you can't, like, you gotta stay away from being crooked and stuff like that. I know Jake, in the end of the day, it's like Jake know how to do certain wickedness, as the scriptures say. Like, Jake is a nation of people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. Because they do wickedness on a small level way better than the average heathen. But it's like when you get in this truth, it's like you want to pretty much stay away from all type of wickedness. If Esau says something is wicked, you don't want to do it, because it's his kingdom. It's not your kingdom yet, you know. So that's why Yahweh even told his men, like, yo, you gotta render unto Caesar, you know. So you gotta just pay your taxes, do what you have to do to remain as a citizen, a law-abiding citizen. Just do what you gotta do, Still gotta follow after the laws of this land, because you gotta just, what you call this, sometimes you even have to go as far as to agree with thine adversary. You just gotta be smart. See, one thing about this truth, a lot of people think that it's about rebelling, being a public enemy. That's just going dumb, and that's just being hella carnal, like, and that's not being smart. You're not gonna be out there trying to start a fight with any heathen that walks past by, talking like you want to fight them. A lot of people get the wrong idea of this truth is because they're not what you call it. They have the wrong idea of this truth because they're pretty much ignorant, and they make assumptions too much. And that's just people for you, and of course they're gonna make negative assumptions because there's no light in them, and for the most part, they're offended at hearing this truth. And but the main point I'm saying is that you just gotta use wisdom, and you have to be, avoiding certain shit that's gonna land you in jail for a minute, for a while, like, that's pretty much your freedom being snatched away from you, which we're not really even that much free any damn way, but that's just another form of hell, going to prison, especially over a fake V card, and and it's like that's another thing about this whole thing that people getting arrested for, like, the fake V card. You when it's coming to the Lord, that's tempting the Lord, and the Lord said you shouldn't really tempt him, So it says in Matthew chapter 4 verse 7, Yahweh said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Yeah, so thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Showing you right there that you can't really do certain things that the Lord doesn't approve of, because, like I said, you get caught lacking for trying to finesse your way into maybe a college, school, a job, anywhere, by way of the fake V card or any other fake certificate that you're trying to use to to swindle your way in somewhere, your ass is gonna be caught up, and it's gonna be grass when you get booked and you get caught slipping. So yeah, and the system obviously is not meant for Jake. So it's not meant to support you, Jake. It's not meant to stick up for you. It's meant to destroy you every way possible. And and it's also meant for you to do certain things to get put in the system, to get booked in the system. That's how the Esau set up this whole system, just to put you Jakes in a trap. So yeah, even though at certain times you might have Esau that get caught up in his own traps with his own people, you know, he traps his own people too, you know, but it's mostly just getting Jake still, because we're just under those curses. And this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So, you being wise as a serpent, like, a serpent will know not to, I guess, get to certain animals in a fight. Like, if they see a crowd of animals and they're just the only one there, the serpent pretty much is like one of the smartest animals in the animal kingdom, because in the way it will strangle you, use basically put you like in a restricting hold, like almost like a submission in a way, and they will choke you out like that. And if they bite, you best believe they will use their venom to uh obviously seep into your bloodstream, and it would choke you out, or if they can't bite like that, if they don't have like the teeth, venomous teeth, then they would just choke you out for sure. And they will also like make sure that once you choke you out, like you're completely unconscious. And you can even see like that's actually a real smart way to defeat your opponent, is by making him unconscious, by choking him out. You even see that in mixed martial arts as well, MMA, UFC fighting. You'll see that, and most people in the street don't know how to fight like that, But anywho, I just want to basically make my main point is that you want to be pretty much like smart, right, and avoiding like things like this. And they catching on to this, so it's like, and they have articles already about it. Yeah, even news articles about it, like, so they already know what's up when you trying to fuck around using a fake V card. And usually it's a dove is harmless. Like, if you come across a bird, you know they'll fly away from you, knowing that they don't want the smoke, they don't want no trouble, you know and it says that, like, a sheep, you know to be the Lord, that's how the Lord sent us as. So we gotta be like, docile like the sheep. We gotta be harmless, you know we gotta be pretty much I know one thing that's bad about the sheep is like a follower, like they might be like like followers, like they don't know who to, they follow anyone or something like that. But that's kind of like a bad characteristic of a sheep. But a good characteristic is that they're harmless, they're not causing trouble. They don't they're not type of animals that you pretty much have to shoot down or so for acting crazy wild. And then, like, the wolves are aggressive and stuff like that. The wolves, you got wolves out here everywhere, And that's just basically showing you, the wolves are like people that, really want to see our downfall, people that, you know, really want to try to attack us in this truth. And that would represent like mainly Esau and these other nations. And then you got 2/3, which are worse enemies that, some of them will be agents coming by trying to find a way to get you caught up. And oh yeah, another thing too, when you get arrested now, uh you're gonna have, you got agents out there that know your face for being part of a Israelite camp. They're gonna be on your ass. They're gonna be trying to say, oh, you got arrested, you this and that. And then some people are gonna look at it like, oh wow, the ministry, I knew this thing was all, you know was all fake. And it's like, you hold one hell of a responsibility in this truth. And you're responsible for making yourself blameless as much as possible. You're responsible for making yourself, harmless in a way, showing you that you're just trying to avoid trouble as much as possible. Because you see, this is the thing that gets Esau to have his little orgasms, in a certain, in a certain way. What I'm saying, like, this is the way he gets satisfied, is by seeing, you know, Jake getting caught up slipping, and I mean Jake mostly in the truth. That's who he's mostly, trying to snatch up, you know, to also to demonize the truth as well, to show you that, oh, once it's one Jake that wear a garment, go out in the highways and byways, that, you know, he will try to use some false information and spread it on the media and saying that, oh, this is what all the Israelites doing. That's not smart, you know. And I've seen some Jakes, and I'm not gonna give out names. I'm not gonna throw out names or nothing, but I feel like the elders and apostles need to address this in their camps about, you know, regarding the fake V card, because I heard some brothers say they're not gonna deal with it, and I'll be one of those brothers too. At first, I was gonna, I was talking to some brother about, getting it, and then I was like, nah. So I sent him a video that pretty much Zebulon Warrior, when he did this video, he did a sit down lesson about it, showing his face in the camera. But me, I'm just doing like a pre-recorded lesson about it to show you, like, what the consequences are. And the consequences might be a little harsher, maybe down the line, a couple months, or maybe a year or so. Sometimes they add, they make consequences a little, they sometimes add more years, or they add more to the fine sometimes. So, especially if you're a Jake. Because you see, Esau would try to find any reason to put your ass in that system, and he wants you to be a slave in that system, to make it harder for you to get a job. And some brothers, like, they were mentioning that, because I told them about the consequences. One of them said, oh yeah, but there's a card that actually, one of the fake V cards actually scans through the system, and it goes in it. Because, I guess he was trying to find like a way to basically kind of turn away what I was saying and my warnings and stuff, just to basically think that he could use this fake V card, I guess, to swindle his way into the getting a job or so, or wherever they require fake V cards or whatever for. So whatever organizations require fake V cards that you have to attend or whatever, or that you want to attend. But like I said, I want to just stay away from those things, and I'm not trying to get caught up in stuff. And I feel like elders and apostles gotta address, speak, they got to speak against this, like, that when they basically, hear about this or something like that. But with that, hope this lesson has been edifying, brothers. Hope it taught you something new, and I hope it taught you something that you will eventually, take heed to prevent going to the system and getting arrested and losing, most of your freedom that, we hardly even have. And you going to jail is like you barely having any freedom at all, and that's just making it harder for you in life. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get arrested at one point, and for preaching these words, you are gonna get detained and put in the concentration camps, yeah, but that's just for the truth's sake. You getting arrested for some crooked shit, that's not smart. So with that, I hope I made that lesson edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders, great millstone. Peace I teach and the hopeful elect. Wa Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Babakashah, Shalak Rayam Adawamyam, Wa Gowayam, Wa Ababa Shalom.